With new coronavirus mandates re-closing hundreds of bars, restaurants, malls, and businesses, Governor Gavin Newsom is making it crystal clear that California will now go back to looking like the first few weeks of lockdown back in April.
So what we thought was our temporary new normal will need some long-term adjustments with more courtesy and patience in how we plan our interactions and even cancel invites. Joining us with advice on 4 trending COVID-19 social dilemmas is civility and etiquette expert Rosalinda Randall. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Likewise. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So I'm sure people are in a predicament where they maybe have agreed to something. They've said yes to an RSVP thinking, okay, by now things will be back to normal. So what is someone to do? Because there's a lot of people upset when someone just doesn't show up. Is it okay to change your RSVP? And how much of an excuse or explanation is acceptable?
Well, as much as you want to give, but typically you can be brief, even aside from the COVID situation, but sometimes it's beyond our control. Like you said, you just stated, Governor Newsom just put in new restrictions, not gathering more than 10, and if you don't have the space. So sometimes it's beyond people's control. But if you are the person, the guest, and you said yes, and you are uncomfortable, it doesn't matter whether anyone agrees with you or not. That is your boundary, your comfort level. You call immediately, apologize, and if there was some investment, monetary or ticket or a meal, it would be a nice gesture to offer or just send a check or maybe send gourmet muffins or something with an apology. And people who are getting canceled on, I recommend they use a little understanding or you're going to end relationships and be angry. Right. So understanding is one of the key things that it would help all situations.
There are some people who are concerned that they're having arguments and hurt feelings when it comes to older people, parents or grandparents who want to go to an outing or want to have a family visit, but others are saying, it's not safe. So how do you navigate that?
Well, I say if your parent, grandparent, they're sane, they're sober, they're rational, they're informed, really, there's not much you can do. Now, if you live with them, you can hide their keys or, be on their case, so to speak, a little bit more. But there really isn't much you can do to independent adults. You can state your case, maybe sending them links to current county-wide guidelines. Perhaps they're lonely, and that's why they go out. Maybe visit more often if you live nearby, and whatever circumstances are comfortable with you. Maybe tell them, again, if they're your boundaries, we can't visit because you keep going out, or we'll have to wear masks, or we can only sit outside. But make your boundaries for yourself, not to spite them, not to punish them. Right now, as you mentioned, relationships can be very fragile because we have different points of view. And especially with family members, it isn't a great time to impose our ways. Just work with them. Again, don't threaten. I'm not going to bring the kids if you keep going out. Maybe they're very active people. If you, again, happen to live nearby, take them in the car. Go to see neighborhoods you've never driven through before, or parks, or a picnic with social distancing. And thirdly, maybe plan a trip when this is all over. Have a family survey. Where do we want to go? Desert, beach, let's vote. And that can be something fun and have them to look forward to. But really making anyone stay home, again, apply your boundaries and tell them kindly and lovingly.
I think this next question has to do with that delicate balance of relationships with friends and family. Let's say you said, okay, we're going to take a little summer getaway in a smaller group. But then, everybody, like you said, has their own ground rules, has their own ideas of what they want to do. Let's say they're not getting along or they're uncomfortable with the house rules. What do you do?
Well, if you've already gone that far and you have arrived, that can be a little bit trickier. But if you haven't, communication, again, is key. Planning ahead. If you have separate tents, separate lodging, you can work things out. But again, if you rent a house or a condo together, talking about it in advance. How do you know that they won't require everyone to wear masks, including your children? Rearranging the furniture. Can you share food? Are pets allowed? Who swishes the bathroom constantly? There are so many things that can cause so many problems, end or damage relationships, that I advise. But again, once you're there, it's either going to go well or not, and there's going to be some compromising that we all have to do to make ourselves comfortable. Now, if you're going to their home, I always say, their house, their rules. And as a good host, I will try and accommodate. But if you want me to rearrange my furniture, shampoo my rugs, change my air filters because it makes you comfortable and I don't agree, that could also cause a little conflict in the relationship.
What about wedding season? How do you navigate that? And you know, for the people getting married, what about their big haul of gifts?
Yeah.
Do we still send
Good
them gifts if
question.
we're not going to the wedding?
If they got married, I know a couple who did. They got married on Zoom even, and they sent out like they do, you know, the registry and all that stuff. So it's up to you to send it. If you were going to go and you were an invited guest, send one. Now, somebody asked me, well, they're not having the reception until next year, and you know, I don't really want to send the gift until the reception. That's just my thing. Well, then I guess you wait till the reception. However, there may not be one because when you have 6 to 9 months to wait and go $20,000, $30,000 or not. So they get married, send a gift. They postpone it, postpone the gift. Simple.
All right. Thanks so much, Rosalinda Randall. Again, an author, civility expert, and business etiquette trainer. For more tips and advice, check out her website and follow her on social media.